Alright everyone, this is the video of fully assembling the rifle project. Pretty much every single piece here, including most of the screws, are either made from scratch or modified from original. So let's get started putting this thing together. Okay, let's start with the action here. I already barreled the action, so the headspace and everything's already set. I got rid of the original recoil lug and the nut, and I made a new precision nut for it, so everything's all trued up on the faces and perpendicular and lined up with the threads. Here is the main tube, and almost forgot, I gotta stick the safety in first, otherwise it's too hard to get the thing in there once everything's all assembled already. Alright, got one piece in there. Slide my tube in. Okay. And then next will be the trigger assembly stuff. Just a bit here there. Of course, getting the spring in is always just an absolute joy. Okay, I just did this last little bit off of camera because it's a real pain in the butt and it's difficult on camera. But springs installed in there, pins in, and then there is a small rubber plug that keeps the pin from popping back out once this is on. So now we'll get the rest of the trigger in. Using one of the trigger kits that we actually make. Comes with 2 springs. You got your trigger spring and then the safety spring. Significantly reduced weight on both of those. And usually like to put just a drop or 2 of oil in there, just to make sure that that thing operates nicely. And this is adjustable for the amount of over travel. I already had this one set up and adjusted ahead of time. And you got the fun little Jesus clip on here. Always a joy getting these back on. Just one drop on each side of the trigger. Make sure my safety and stuff's operating properly. Okay. Now I'm going to temporarily stick in the Picatinny rail screws just to keep this stuff all lined up for when I tighten up the bottom on here. Okay, now we're ready to install the bottom. So we have the bottom piece here, and then I made an extension for the magazine so I could fit another round in there without eating up too much space. Alright, that's all good. Make sure our plug isn't going to bind up. And we have the 2 action screws. And then there's also a screw that goes up and through the bottom here, so there's 3 screws total holding this together. So that one just feeds right up through there. And I'm leaving them all loose for right now, so I can shove the action all the way tight up against the shoulder here, and then I will torque them down so they're nice and even. And I torqued down those 3 action screws, so now I gotta go put the set screws here in the top. There are 4 set screws that keep this all locked down. And, oop, there's my blue Loctite. I'm going to put just the teeniest bit on there. So now I'll take and torque these down in stages. And then every time I torque them down, I'll make sure that my screws are still moving. Not that anything's getting twisted funny in there. Screws still all move. Action works nice and smoothly. Okay, that part's done. Let's get the rail mounted on the top here. So that's done and over with. And I got to keep these screws in order here because they're all cut to different lengths. Wanted to make them as long as I absolutely could. And I'm not going to Loctite these down yet because I may have some adjustments to make on here. We'll see. Okay, so that's it for this part of the main body. Guess we could put the grip on next. This is I believe it was a Scorpion 2. Kind of an unusual grip, and I know it's a little large for some people's hands. For my hands, it actually fit quite well. And the back part here slides in. That's PZ. There's a PH. Yeah, and I've heard complaints from guys in the net saying that they had a hard time sliding this thing together, and I actually thought it went together quite well. I didn't have any problems with it at all. All right, now we'll do the stuff in the back here, which is quite a bit. So we have the adapter in the end and the main tube in the rear. And I'm going to put some Loctite on this to keep it in there. And then I'm not going to do anything more than just crank it in good and tight with my hand. The Loctite will keep it in there. Once that Loctite cures, it's not going to go anywhere. Make sure to clean all that stuff left off on here. Okay, and then this tube fits into the rear. It's a good solid snug fit. Yeah, it was kind of difficult machining all this stuff to plan for just exactly how much things would change when I blasted it. and doing my clearance and stuff just right for the Cerakote. So it's a special curve shaped washer. I 3D printed and then Cerakoted it. So it provides a good solid support area across this whole nut on here. And that just snugs down with my thumb. So everything's locked in solid now. Okay, and here is the cheek piece adapter. Then there are 2 screws in the back here, and those clamp down on it. I'm just going to be lightly assembling them for right now because later, after I get the scope mounted on it, I'm going to have to get all this stuff adjusted. So for right now, I'm just sticking it on there just so it's on there. And let's see, I guess we could put this on the back. So here's the adapter for the butt plate. And then here's the butt plate itself. And these I will put just a little bit of Loctite on because I won't ever have to take these apart again. Alright, those are locked in. And now this has to get aligned with the rest of the rifle and install the 3 set screws in here. Yeah, if I desire, I have play in here that I could move this forwards and backwards, or I could cant it in any direction that I'd like. And I'm not going to Loctite these because I may end up doing some small adjustments to the original length of pull. Okay, those are all tightened up. So now we can put the butt pad on the back. And these screws are a real pain to get through this rubber on here. There's little pieces inside where it's hollow and they have a tendency to want to push themselves through the hole. Then we have a bag rider tube here on the bottom. And that bolts all the way through. There we go. Okay, not much left. I'll go back to the front end for right now. Let's flip this around. Okay, so here's a locking ring for the foregrip. And here's a foregrip. Cut that for M-lock. Yeah, it was my first time making any kind of M-lock anything, and I don't own any M-lock stuff, so I just got the specs off of line, and I am currently waiting for the M-lock bipod adapter. So after the cheek piece and stuff gets on, that'll pretty much be the end of it. And I do have a special wrench for tightening this stuff up, but with this thing, there you go, I'll finish tightening that up off the camera. Kind of a pain with fitting the wrench in there and everything else, so I don't need you to see me struggling with that. Alright, put our cheek rest on the back here. And with that trigger kit that I got in here, I should be right at about 8 ounces. Looks like 9 ounces. So yeah, nice light trigger, and this action is just super smooth. Very, very happy with it. There's a nice overview of all of it, from front to back. And I hope that was nice and informative for you guys. Thanks for watching.